From Dusk Till Dawn, Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino team up. Now, I've always liked this movie. It's an interesting movie because, it starts off as, how would you say, like a thriller. Two brothers that are outlaws on the run. One brother, George Clooney, is more reasonable, I'd say, and kind of just wants, he's in it for the money. He's not a good guy, but he will kill you if you get in his way. But he won't go out of his way to be cruel. Quentin Tarantino plays the younger brother, and he is like a paranoid schizophrenic. He's crazy, and he obviously enjoys hurting and killing people. And especially in the scene later with the woman, he's a very twisted, sick man. And George Clooney you get the feeling he keeps him around because it's his brother, and he thinks that he can control him if he's there to help him. They got great chemistry. I almost wish there was like a prequel to this. But it's too late now. But I think they could have made it like a few years later. I mean, I wish they did, because I think they're really good together. And spoilers. This is gonna be all spoilers. But Quentin Tarantino dies in the end. He gets turned into a vampire. So I think was an opportunity for a prequel. And I'm not even big on prequels, but I would watch it, because I really like the first half, and then it turns into a horror movie, and I like that half too. But if I have to say which one's better, I'd probably go with the first half. But the whole movie's very watchable. It's a fun movie. Like I said, they have great chemistry. This is very early in George Clooney's career, I guess. I watched some reviews on this, and Quentin Tarantino directed an episode of ER, and then he worked with George Clooney, and he's like, oh man, this guy's going to be huge. So he got him to do this. I'm glad he did, because this is one of my favorite George Clooney performances. He's so direct and confident in what he's doing, and he can be funny too, but at the same time intimidating. So very good performance. Quentin Tarantino, this is his best performance as an actor, I'd say. He's pretty good, I guess, in Reservoir Dogs also. But he's not in that much. He's in this much more. And yeah, I'm not even big on him as an actor, but I think this is one of his best, definitely. This is one of my favorite Robert Rodriguez movies. Probably Sin City's my favorite, but this and Sin City are definitely my favorite. The script by Quentin Tarantino and Robert Kurtzman. It's a great script. Something that, the sequels, I've watched parts of them and I just wasn't into them. Robert Kurtzman. Okay, I was thinking of someone else, but 'cause I'm looking at his other writing credits, and The Rage. Never seen that, but I watched some of the TV series. I watched years ago. I watched a couple episodes. I just wasn't that into it. I hear it gets good, at the end of season 1, it gets pretty good, but I don't know. It's just missing, George Clooney and Tarantino. It's missing Tarantino's dialogue and his script. So that, sometimes it's they try to do a TV series or something, but the main actors aren't in it, and the script writer isn't there, and it's just, it's just kind of a hopeless task. But I love the way this movie opens with them in the gas station, And that one actor, Michael Parks, great actor. This movie's full of just really good actors and a really good casting too. Yeah, unfortunately he died in 2017. But he's a really good actor. He's in Red State. Okay. You know, maybe I'll rewatch that. Maybe that's the last good Kevin Smith movie. But he's a very intense actor. Very good though. He's good as a Texas Ranger. But I just love that scene, and he's talking to the guy about how someone owns this restaurant, and the kid they have has mental problems, and he could buy the restaurant but doesn't want to. And then he's like buying some liquor because he's like, oh, it's been a slow day. I'm gonna you know, call this a day. And and then Quentin Tarantino comes out of nowhere and shoots him, kills him. He says that the guy that works there was mouthing "help me" to him, which he wasn't. George Clooney's like, yeah, right. And and that guy's great too. And he just keeps saying like, I was not mouthing that. John Hawkes, another solid actor. Now, what was he just in? He's in tons of stuff. Small Town Crime. That's it. That's a good movie. I reviewed that a while ago. If you haven't seen that, check that out. That's a really good movie about him as an ex-cop. He was kicked off the force because he's an alcoholic, and now he's trying to be a private investigator. But anyways, that's a nice little movie too, if you haven't seen that. But yeah, that just the whole way this movie opens, I think, is just you're instantly there. You're instantly interested in the movie. And you know, and then Quentin Tarantino shoots him, and then George Clooney gets angry at him, and yeah, and then they end up shooting all the bottles above him, covering him in alcohol, and then George Clooney takes lighter fluid and puts it on a toilet paper roll, throws it at him, and then he goes up. Nice little comedic moment is he falls into a bunch of unpopped popcorn and starts popping. Little things like that, I think, really show off, like, you know, good attention to details, good direction from Rodriguez. But yeah, then that pretty much the movie starts, and then you get introduced, you know, to Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, Ernest Liu too, who I don't think is in much at all. Okay, his last credits in 2005. He does seem a little out of place. You know, when you're with Juliette Lewis and Harvey Keitel, who are great actors, but it's Harvey Keitel's adopted son. Harvey Keitel's great in this too. You know, he's he was a pastor, and his wife died of cancer, you know, horrible cancer, and he's bitter because of that. He's a man of broken faith. He's angry at God. And then in the end of the movie, he has a great redemption arc where he believes in God again and saves his family, even though he's bitten by a vampire. You got Danny Trejo as the bartender. Cheech Marin plays like 3 different roles. He's always great. Tom Savini as Sex Machine. And that prop with the gun on his crotch it was apparently an unused prop from Desperado. But yeah, John Hawkes. You got Fred Williamson, who's in the bar with them. Of course, you know, he has, you know, a long career. Of black exploitation movies. Man, it goes back to Wow, 1968. Oh, he's in a Star Trek episode. But yeah, this movie's just so watchable. It's not that long. You know, you got Selma Hayek, and man, she looks so good in this. And there's a scene with her and the snake, and then her and Tarantino. You know, with her feet, of course. You got to get that in there, right, Tarantino? But and that's pretty much when she, you know, turns into a vampire and bites Tarantino because his hand is bleeding everywhere. And then that pretty much starts the second half of the movie, where they're all fighting vampires. So, but yeah, but I will say I think the first half's a little better, but I do like when movies do that though, where on a dime they change into a different type of movie. So it goes from like a kind of criminals on the run thriller to a horror movie, like on a dime, and it does it, you know, with ease. But yeah, later Rodriguez and Tarantino, you know, would make 2 other movies together, or Grindhouse. I'm not really into Tarantino's one. You know, I love Kurt Russell, but I don't know. Maybe I'll rewatch it. But I like Rodriguez's Grindhouse movie. This is better though. But yeah. But yeah, and then the second half, you know, is kind of like more. It's kind of focuses more on Harvey Keitel, I'd say, and his struggles and his arc. You know, where he becomes a priest again. He blesses water. They have holy water that can destroy the vampires, which is a nice little thing to see in this movie. That it's just not the sunlight that destroys vampires. You know, like they have some of the classic tropes, like holy water. I don't know. He makes his gun into a cross. Like, I'm not sure if that it kind of holds him back. I guess maybe a little, but it's nice to see. But yeah, it's just a really watchable movie that I like, and yeah, I just wish that they would have done a prequel to it. You know, it's got ZZ Top did some songs for the music. It's got great music. Like, I don't know the one where the credits start playing in the beginning, where it's like it's a hard night. Like, that's a great shot too. There's the classic shot of them opening the trunk, and then there's the camera in the trunk, just like in Reservoir Dogs. So obviously Rodriguez, like, I don't know if he let Tarantino direct a little or whatever, but they're obviously they're good friends, and they're kind of playing off each other. I also love the scene when Clooney, because they have the girl in the trunk, and then they go to a motel, and then Clooney leaves to get food, and he brings it back, and Tarantino's killed the woman and done other things, and George Clooney's pissed, and then you just see his reaction looking at what occurred, and it's just like flashes, little tiny flashes. It doesn't really show it. I think that's really well done, and you can really see on his face, just like, man, like, my brother is sick. And then he's like, you know, I don't do these things. I don't enjoy doing these things. Like, something's wrong with you. Do you understand that? But yeah, Tarantino is really good in this, even though he's not really a great actor. But in this, he's pretty good. The green blood was used for the vampires to get the movie past the censors, right? And apparently the censors were actually, the MPAA actually liked the movie and barely changed anything. Quentin Tarantino was originally set to direct the movie, this is in the trivia, but decided not to so that he could focus on the screenplay and his role as Richard Gecko. That's probably a good idea. Because Robert Rodriguez isn't acting in the movie, you know? So then I guess Rodriguez would just produce it, I guess. I think it's the cinematographer that Rodriguez uses a lot too, so... the band playing in the Titty Twister is Tito and Tarantula featuring Robert Rodriguez. Oh, he's in the band, okay. So I guess he does act a little bit. The lineup also features Oingo Boingo drummer Johnny Vatos Hernandez. The name of the movie is taken from the signs around on the drive-in. These signs indicate the length of the shows, which ran from dusk till dawn. The movie is full of references to midnight movies and films, which are often intended for teenagers to watch late at night in their cars. Quentin Tarantino wrote the script as a way to showcase the talent of special effects company called K&B. In return, K&B agreed to provide the special effects for the air scene and Reservoir Dogs free of charge. Nice. If you do me a favor and smash that like button, that'd be great. Helps the channel a lot. Okay, so it's K&B. Yeah, the effects are pretty good. There is some CGI a little bit with like the transitions to the vampires and stuff. It's a little iffy, but the practical effects are pretty damn good though. It's very bloody, very gory at the end. I mean, the whole place is just like soaked in blood. Tarantino's hand, he gets shot through the hand. And then he gets stabbed in that same hand, and then he's bleeding everywhere, and that causes the transformation of the first vampires. Originally, the Titty Twister massacre and fight scenes were longer and a lot gorier, with more deaths of vampires and humans before they were cut for ratings and pacing. Some work print footage shows all the uncut scenes. George Clooney was paid $250,000 for appearing in the film. It was George Clooney's idea for Seth to have a tattoo, having just seen Once Were Warriors. Never seen that. This was Tarantino's first paid writing gig. He wrote the script for $1,500. Wow, $1,500. Really? I guess he wrote it years before or something. Scott Fuller wears a shirt that says Precinct 13 on it in a stencil lettering. It's a nod to Assault on Precinct 13. Yeah, and Tarantino and Rodriguez are a huge fan of Carpenter's. George Clooney was picked partly because of his work on ER. Tarantino liked the irony that Clooney had gone from saving people at ER to playing a character who sends people to the ER. Some of the body parts were from other films by Tarantino and Rodriguez. Wow, there's a lot of trivia. But yeah, it's just a really enjoyable kind of dual type movie. You know, you have two types of movies in it. You have horror and a thriller. So, and I just like how it, you know, instantly switches and it works. So, but yeah, that's about it though. See you next time.